Hey man, what it is? This is Deem, and I am your host, and this is By Any Means. There go to PayPal at Deem by any means. There go to Cash App, $ Deem by any means. Y'all already know what I'm about to say. I don't care if you leave $1, $10, $1,000. It is much, much, much appreciated. Terence Crawford versus Madrimov is going down on Saturday. Yes, the number one pound for pound fighter in the world is fighting on Saturday and going to go show why he should reign supreme and why he is who he is. Um, I hear a lot of people, very optimistic as far as when it comes to Madrimov and what he presents, not only to the Terence Crawford fight, but what he presents to the 154 division in whole. But I'm a little different, y'all, and I think that's why y'all like me and y'all rock with me, and I think that I'm good at what I do because I break things much simpler than a lot of others. Could somebody catch somebody with a lucky punch? Of course. Could somebody get hurt or something like that? Of course. But I don't base my predictions just based off of that. I don't base my predictions off of wishing on a star. And especially when I'm making a prediction based off of my head and not my heart, I'm much more clearer because we all human. Sometimes I make picks with my heart and not my head. Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. But one thing I know is that boxing come down to four criterias. You got defense, you got ring generalship, you got clean and effective punching, and you got effective aggression. And Madrimov is not better than Terence Crawford at any of those things. So you got to understand that when you walk into a ring with a fighter that you're not better at any aspect of boxing than him, you're already down on the scorecards because unless you knock him out, his aspects of boxing is going to show. Terence Crawford not going to wake up on Saturday and forget how to throw jabs, how to get out the way of hooks, how to be defensive. He's not going to forget none of that. Is it going to hurt Madrimov as much as it hurt guys at the prior division? That is to be determined. But what I do know is what he presents and what Madrimov presents from a skill standpoint. And skill-wise, this is going to be a complete domination. If Madrimov don't hurt Terence Crawford or knock him out, he will lose this fight. And it won't even be close. This is not a close matchup. A guy with 10 fights, 11 fights, and bad footwork can never beat somebody like Terence Crawford. The only way Madrimov wins this fight is if Terence Crawford is not who everybody says he is, who we think he is, who we know him to be. There is no reason why Madrimov should even be in the ring with Terence Crawford. The only reason why he's in the ring with Terence Crawford because he got gifted that title. He got gifted that title at the 154 division because of Jermell Charlo and everything else like that. So for real, it really should be Bud versus Jermell, but that's not happening right now. So Bud is moving up in the division, getting a belt, an easy belt, and I just think even though a lot of people think Madrimov is pretty good, and I think Madrimov presents some problems from awkwardness, from power, from having experience in the amateurs, from being decorated that way, from just being one of them overseas guys that I know just hard headed and going to keep coming with pressure. The problem is, don't none of that mean nothing when you're not just better than somebody. When you don't have the skills, pay the bills in boxing, y'all. I'm going to say it to y'all again. Skills pay the bills. It's the same reason why Ryan Garcia couldn't beat Gervonta Davis. Because what happens when you go into a ring with a guy, you can have all the talent, but what happens when you go into a ring with the guy that has the talent, but he also has the skill? 9 times out of 10 that we have seen in our lifetime, 9.5 times out of 10, the boxer that has the talent with the other boxer who has talent, but the guy who has more skill wins the fight. And that is not by accident. That is because you are throwing punches. That is because you are creating punishment on another fighter. A human body can only withstand so much. A human body can only get hit in the same spot over and over again so many times. I don't care how diesel you are. That is the truth. I tell people this all the time. You can't lift weights with your chin. Floyd Mayweather's bloody the Big Show. Now, I don't know if that's true. They say it was true, but who knows? What I'm saying to you is that Skills pay the bills, and Madrimov don't stand a chance in this fight, if you ask me. It's not even close. They're not even on the same playing field. They're not even on the same playing field. Terence Crawford is too skilled. See, this is the thing where I get mad at people, because you can't recognize that Terence Crawford is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world and think just anybody can go into the ring. A good fighter will never beat Terence Crawford. It's not this complicated, people. A good fighter, a pretty good fighter, will never beat an A-class fighter. It won't happen. Only times we see that happen is when the A-class fighter has either had a long layoff, Muhammad Ali, things of that nature. When an A-class fighter is going through something maybe personal in their life or something like that. We saw with Sabril Matias and the guy that he beat, that beat him first, and he beat him. But I wouldn't even consider Matias a Terence Crawford level fighter. The disrespect towards Terence Crawford got to stop, man. I know we want his pay-per-view to sell and to try to hype this fight up and to try to act like it's something that is not. No, it's exactly what you think it is. It's a mismatch. It's a complete, utterly mismatch. Jermell Charlo can't beat Terence Crawford, let alone a guy that has 11 fights. His experience alone, he can't beat Terence Crawford. Boxing is 90% mental, even though you're creating punishment. It's like every other sport. It's more mental. You got to put it in your mental before you could do anything physical. Your brain creates reaction. And if your brain ain't together, you won't react that way. Ask anybody who has certain neurological diseases and things like that. That's how you know. Terence Crawford is too skilled. He's too good. Oh, yeah, y'all. Terence Crawford stays in the gym. Terence Crawford don't take time off, even if he only fights once a year. That part don't matter. The part that matters is that he's always in the gym, so he never allows himself to have super long layoffs. At the most, is going to be a year. And he's already later in his career where he has trained his body to deal with that. So Terence Crawford, I expect Terence Crawford to look every bit as good as he just looked last July. I expect Terence Crawford to look every bit as good as he looked last July. Because from what I've seen from him training, from things I've been seeing on social media, he hasn't taken a step back at all. In my opinion. Same thing I say about Lomachenko, but people, when people want to, like I said, man, we care about age and all that when it benefits the fighter that we like. When it's somebody like Terence Crawford, Terence Crawford fans don't want to hear about his age. But when it comes to Lomachenko fighting Gervonta Davis, that's when they want to bring age in and all of these type of things. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, it's gray area in boxing, man. You just got to understand that. But what I know is when you are not better at the 4 criterias of boxing that judges actually judge scorecards on, you're already behind the 8 ball. You're already literally 4 rounds down. Just look at it like that, y'all. You got 4 criterias of boxing. And if you're not better than that guy at any of them, he gonna win at least 4 rounds guaranteed. The fighter that's better at everything is going to win 4 rounds guaranteed. So then that only leaves you 8 rounds. Let's say a round, because what his skill shows, all 4 criteria of boxing show in one of those rounds that makes him win that round. Whether he was very defensive that round, whether he was putting the beats on you that round, whether he was cutting the ring off, being a showman, or doing whatever it is he was doing, whether he was staying right there in front of you, whether the things he was doing was actually having an effect on the way you was fighting. You already down 4 rounds. You down a round per criteria. You are down a round per criteria with somebody like Terence Crawford, somebody like Gervonta Davis, somebody like Anoa Inoue. You are behind the 8 ball already. You're behind. You got to catch up. So that leaves 8 rounds to catch up. And if y'all think Madrimov has any chance of winning 5, 6 rounds of those 8, it's just not going to happen, dog. Because unless he goes in there and just, like I said, just knock Terence Crawford out, This gonna be a fight at least 6 rounds, and I don't see nothing prior to him hurting Terence Crawford where he will be up on a scorecard. So automatically he's gonna be behind the 8 ball going into this fight. So y'all already know what this is, right? I got Terence Crawford to give y'all the actual prediction. I got Terence Crawford by 11th round stoppage. Or unanimous decision, because he going up at a different weight class. So I got seen first at this weight class because it's the highest he ever been. And that does matter. 154, that's a 7-pound difference. That's huge, because now the guys you fighting, they walk around at least 10 to 15 pounds heavier than the guys you're used to fighting. You want y'all get that? Like when you move up 7 pounds, you got to double that or almost triple that. And with the guys, how much bigger of a man they are than what you're used to fighting. No different than the middleweights at 160 compared to 154 guys. You understand? So I got Terence Crawford 11th round TKO or unanimous decision, but unanimous decision, like it's not even close. Y'all already know what this is, right? Dean by any means. And I holla at y'all.